Watch what's approaching, the supreme moment. Reality striking closer than it seems, don't it? Go ahead, it's for the taking if you want it. If not, the dream dies and you'll be forever haunted. Then confront it.
What's good, everyone? I finally finished up the grind for this. I don't know, there's always that one link level at level 9 that's stuck there for literally like 5 or 6 days, and I finally got it done. So before the EZA actually rolls out, I think it's scheduled for November 5th, I wanted to test out the current state of the free-to-play LR First Form Frieza, which is pretty much the Prime Battle LR, and just kind of see what the current state stats are. And then once the Extreme Z Awakening actually happens for this free-to-play LR, we'll be able to kind of see, you know, the final product of it. But I do have a lot of high expectations for this unit. Not anything crazy, but at the equivalent level of LR Goku, maybe a little bit better, I would say. But if it works out that way, I think it'll be a very good unit. Still probably relevant to some degree in terms of placement on, you know, Wicked Bloodline or Transformation Boost or whatever category setup. So let's just go ahead and talk about the unit itself at its current state. Now, you probably noticed that I didn't assign any skill orbs or equipment to the unit. I'm actually waiting on the EZA stats to basically determine what kind of distribution on equipment I want to go with. So with that being said, let's just go ahead and cover it. So right now, as of today, Prime Battle LR First Form Frieza, leader skills, all types, attack increase of 7,000. The super attack causes colossal damage to enemy, that's the 12 key, and then the 18 key will cause mega colossal damage, mega colossal damage to enemy, and also lowers attack and defense. Now, in terms of the passive skill, it's a flat out attack increase of 13,000 and defense of 5,000 at the start of the turn. And then for links, you're looking at strongest clan in space. At level 10, you're looking at all enemies defense minus 10%, key plus 2. Universe's most malevolent is attack increase of 20%. Metamorphosis recovers 5% HP and attack and defense increase of 10%. Thirst of Conquest is attack and defense increase of 15%. Big Bad Bosses is attack and defense increase of 25%. Fear and Faith, all enemies defense minus 10% and key plus 2. And of course, Legendary Power is attack increase of 15% when performing a super attack. And this guy does fall into a lot of categories like Planet, Namek Saga, Transformation Boost, Wicked Bloodline, Dragon Ball Seekers, Conquest of Terror, and Inhuman Deeds. And right now at 100% potential without any skill orbs assignment, you're looking at HP stats of 19,400, attack is 21,680, and defense is 12,050. So again, like a lot of the stats upgrades we'll see with the EZA, and just looking at Goku's stuff based on the pre-EZA and post-EZA stats. I mean, the passive skill is where a lot of the improvement takes place. Like even Goku's a good example of where you get a flat attack and defense stat increase, but that is converted over to a percentage-based increase after the EZA. So I expect something similar to happen with Frieza. The thing that I really need First Form Frieza or Prime Battle LR Frieza to be able to accomplish with the passive skill upgrade is some sort of key boosting to self. I think a lot of the times this unit does tend to kind of run into a problem with key, especially with the 18 key super attack, and I would imagine the 18 key super attack post EZA will change from along with causing mega colossal damage to enemy and lowering attack and defense, that'll change most likely to greatly lowers attack and defense. If that actually happens, then he really will have a lot of useful elements in terms of like settings like SBR and whatnot. Great, the skill set to be able to greatly lower attack and defense both at the same time through a super attack, it's going to have pretty beneficial value in terms of like the team builds and setups of potentially including this guy on a team. So I think there's definitely expectations, at least from my end, on that. Again, in terms of like the passive skill, along with that percentage-based conversion on, attack increase of 13,000, defense increase of 5,000. Goku obviously got a 59% conversion from that. I'm hoping, Frieza will get something similar, ideally maybe like 70%, and then tack on some more based on certain, parameters. I really hope they don't restrict them like they did with Goku, where you do have to be the first attacker in order to get like the full passive boost. But, it would be kind of nice to where you're not really restricted to like placement on the rotation. However, Goku did provide all allies ki +3 when attacking extreme type enemies, so I could certainly see Frieza having that same sort of thing against the super type enemies. So basically, you get a ki boost, based on situations where you're fighting super type or super class enemies. I could definitely see that as kind of an inverted method for this guy's passive versus Goku. And like honestly, minor tweaks here and there, but I really think this guy should be fine. Like even on this Conquest of Terror and transformation boost setup, I think it would have been a lot easier to probably get the 18 key super attack had I included the AoE strength fat boo. I think obviously that guy converts the N type key spheres into strength type, so that would definitely help, and obviously the unit falls into that category. I just wasn't completely sure how well that guy would mesh with the rest of the units on the team, and that's just kind of like why I ultimately decided not to include him. But having some like that would be great, but I think it'd be too much to ask for where the LR Frieza actually has built-in ways to either convert ki or build himself up with ki in some sort of like power creep method. Maybe that's probably what's going to make the most sense, but I don't know, they probably won't make it too easy for us. I say that, but like LR Hercule, that guy, depending on what type of situation you find yourself in with the supporting units on the rotation, that guy's very easily able to accomplish the 18 key super attack. So we'll see which direction they sway in terms of how they want to build the skill sets, but it is coming up pretty soon at the end of the day, so I'm extremely excited about it. Like I said, this Link level grind definitely took a while. There's always that one last level 9 Link that literally takes like I don't even know, like I think it took me like 6 days total, and everything else was already at level 10 at that point. I'm trying to remember which one it was. I almost feel like it was Universe's Most Malevolent or something like that, where it just so stubborn in terms of like leveling up, and obviously it relates to the randomness of Link skill leveling up. That's just kind of the way they rolled it out, but hopefully they do make some improvements on it to where there's a little bit more logic behind it instead of just purely RNG based. But obviously it's a fairly new system that got implemented, so I imagine it would take a while until they make revamps or updates to it. But either way, like, I mean, it does make a pretty substantial difference in terms of the overall impact on the unit themselves. So, with that being said, I'm just glad they rolled it out. It's a great concept. A little bit of an issue in terms of like the rollout itself, but overall, it's a great concept in itself. Alright, so again, I think, based on all of the footage I ended up taking, the max stats I was able to get with this unit in the current state is like 3.6 million, around that region probably. And again, I did load in some supporting units and stuff like that, but they're somewhat, realistic to run. I guess like Turles is definitely a little bit of a liability. That's the only bad thing about it. And plus you have the new one, the LR version of Turles, which is obviously quite better, but it's kind of like give or take, how you want to build a team. But I thought about going with a pure Wicked Bloodline setup as well, but it just, Conquest of Terror transformation boost, it's a very, very nice setup. I still love that category setup and running teams off of that, because it's just how good you can build teams around it, and it's overflowing with options of units available. So I do prefer that setup, but again, you could run it on a variety of categories like Wicked Bloodline, but you've also got other stuff like, I don't know, Inhuman Deeds and Dragon Ball Seekers or some of the other ones. Again, I kind of pinpointed to the Conquest of Terror transformation boost. It's kind of like the best setup for me in terms of running units like this guy. But overall, I mean, you have enough diverse options where you can play around a little bit and see what it does. But right now, I think the biggest problem with Frieza is he's okay from an offensive output, but defense is definitely a liability. So I really hope they do make improvements toward defense where you do get a percentage-based boost. And I don't know if Sky will provide boosting toward allies or whatnot, but we'll find out once the EZA comes out in a few days. I mean, it's literally, I think, 4 days. I would expect the data download at some point to happen, and we find out information about it, but at this point in time, it's a waiting game, so we'll see what happens, but hopefully enjoy the showcase of the current state before we get the EZA. So as always, thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys later. Alright, peace out.